Hey everybody. So for this video, I'm going to try something completely different. It's going to be basically a two-part video. And what I mean by that is for this video right now, we're going to talk about female film directors who are attractive or reasonably attractive. For part two of this video, we're going to talk about male film directors who are attractive or reasonably attractive. My idea for this video came to me when I was talking to someone at the college I go to, and we were talking about how like actors and actresses are always talked about, oh, this person's so hot or this person's so ugly, or I appreciate this person for their talent, but I don't think they're very attractive, kind of thing. And it came to me that not a lot of people, because Hollywood, the actors and actresses on the red carpet, they're always gorgeous or handsome or whatever they are. They're always dressed up for these big events, and they gotta look good for them. But nobody really talks about the directors. I mean, like we talk about their work. If they look or dress really inappropriately for the premiere, obviously people are going to talk about it. Um, but people never really put these directors in kind of a this person's kind of hot or this person's kind of ugh, like did they take a bath last month? Um, so for this video, this one, like I said, this one's about the female directors, and then the video after this one, I'm hoping to post after this one will be about the male film directors. So I'm gonna go from five to one, and what I mean by that is number five will be the weakest of the five that I have on the list, but they made it to number five at least. And then number one would be kind of the best, at least in my opinion, what kind of the most attractive of the male or female directors are. So this video is all opinionated, and same with the next one after this video. But like I said, let's just get started, and I'm going to share with you some female directors who are attractive, or at least are reasonably attractive. So at number five, you guys, we have Jodie Foster. She's directed some films, not very many, but nonetheless, she is considered a female film director. She's acted in more films, more so than directed in films. Um, you know, she's one of those people where I would definitely go more along the line of I appreciate her more so for her talent than for her looks. She's not an ugly woman. She's not a hot. I wouldn't say, go so far as to say that I think she's hot, but she's reasonably attractive, and I think she's at least made it to this list. Um, like I said, I appreciate her for her talents. I hope to see her in more films. But I did want her to put her on this list because compared to her competition, she kind of blew it out of the water. Because it's kind of weird about a lot of female directors is a lot of them are very old. It's very weird how that works. It's not that being old makes you ugly, but a lot of them are just extremely old. So I don't know if this is something they got into when they were older or what the deal was, but Jodie Foster at least made it to number five. For number four, we have Patty Jenkins. She directed the film Monster. She was approached for Thor 2, but turned it down. The directing position later went to Alan Taylor. Um, but as I was looking through this list of female directors, she kind of caught my eye for a second. Um, you know, another example of a female director that she's reasonably attractive. And what's kind of funny is the film Monster with Charlize Theron. They had to really trash her up for that role because Charlize Theron is this absolutely beautiful woman. They had to trash her up to make her really feel like this really dirty prostitute. This real because it was based off a true story. And this prostitute was overweight and everything else, so they went to far lengths to make her look completely different. And who would have ever guessed the director of this film was reasonably attractive herself? So Patty Jenkins made it at number four. Um, and number three, a lot of you are going to recognize her from some pretty big movies. Kind of like Jodie Foster, she's more so known for her acting abilities more so than her directing abilities. But nonetheless, she has at least directed one film, and that is Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore, guys, directed Whip It with Ellen Page and Daniel Stern a couple years ago. Very good film. Um, Obviously, she was in the film herself also. Um, I guess she's directed some music videos too. Um, but I've always kind of thought she was attractive. She's one of the Charlie's Angels. Um, she's definitely. I remember in like Batman Forever, for example, she was kind of like this like the hot assistant to Riddler, I think, in that film. So she's an attractive woman, I think. Some of her fashion statements were kind of weird over the years, I kind of think, though. Um, but for the most part, I think she's attractive. I think she's talented. I've enjoyed watching her act in films since she was in E.T. when she was that little girl interacting with E.T. with a pot of flowers. So Drew Barrymore made it in at number three. At number two, you guys, we have Catherine Bigelow, and I must say, for being 60 years old, she's aged very, very well. She used to be directed. She used to be married to James Cameron, and she's directed Zero Dark 30 and Point Break and The Hurt Locker. And what's kind of neat about her, you guys, is her and James Cameron, back when they were married, they would always collaborate with each other on movies. So James Cameron would kind of help produce, and I think he even possibly co-wrote Point Break, and I think he helped her with Near Dark, and Strange Days was one that he was very much a part of while they were married. Um, and Catherine Bigelow has also helped James Cameron produce and co-write some of his movies. So it's quite clear that some of his directing abilities clearly passed on to her because she's obviously a very good director who's won Best Picture for one of her films and was nominated for Zero Dark 30 back when that came out. Um, but like I said, guys, I think she's reasonably attractive. I think she always dresses well for events. She seems like a very approachable, fun woman to be around. Takes her job very seriously from what I've seen. Um, Obviously, with all these political films she takes on, obviously she's gonna take on whatever side she politically believes in. But for the most part, guys, as far as looks go, as far as how she presents herself, Catherine Bigelow makes it in at number two, and at number one. And this might surprise some people, but at the same time, this may not surprise some people because I personally think this woman's really attractive and really talented. At number one, we have Sofia Coppola. She's the daughter of Francis Ford Coppola, who directed The Godfather and Apocalypse Now and The Outsiders and The Conversation. Her dad directed so many big movies. And from what I've seen from interviews, you guys, she got inspired from her dad to make movies. She made Lost in Translation. She made Somewhere. She made The Virgin Suicides. She's going to make a film this summer called The Bling Ring with Emma Watson. I always thought she was really attractive, and she was once married to Spike Jonze, who's one of my personal favorite film directors, next to Christopher Nolan and John Hughes and Steven Spielberg. All the big guys that I really like. Um, but I think she's really attractive, guys. I think it's neat that she kind of pursued her father's legacy and continued the family name. Her brother Roman continued the family name also, but unfortunately his films were not as big as hers or her dad's. Um, Roman actually, I think, did help produce some of her films, some of his dad's films, and I think he's collaborated with Wes Anderson a few times. Um, he directed a film with Charlie Sheen recently. I think it was called like The Glimpse Inside the Mind of Charles Swan III, and it bombed. Nobody liked it. It didn't make a lot of money. But anyway, back to Sophia. Like I said, I think she's really talented, really pretty. I'm glad that she's always making films, and I think she has two or three children now. And still being a mom while being a director is a very big task, and I'm really glad that she's still pursuing directing films. I'm not sure if all of her films were made under American Zoetrope, her dad's company, but I know Lost in Translation was back when she started. Um, but I think she's really talented, you guys. I really hope we see more from her in the future. She's made a few clunkers every once in a while. She made Maria Antoinette with Kirsten Dunst, and that bombed. At least I didn't really care for it that much. And there was one other one. It might have been somewhere, but there was one other one that didn't do very well. But Lost in Translation did well, and from what I heard from Virgin Suicides, I guess that did very well also. Um, but that was my top five, you guys. What do you think? Do you think there's some female directors that are reasonably attractive that I've missed? Was there? I mean, what do you guys think? Just leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you felt I did with this top five list that I made. And I hope to see you guys next back here for my who I think are some of the top five more attractive male directors.